Hi, I'm Andre. I own Soul Plate, this little soul food joint downtown that's been struggling since we opened 2 years ago. The bills keep piling up faster than customers come in. 3 tables waiting on orders, and Marcus is having a meltdown about the delivery, Tasha said, balancing plates on her arm. Tasha is my cousin and the reason I have this place. When I nearly gave up, she emptied her savings and told me to stop being a punk. Now she runs the front like a general. Tell Marcus I'll call the supplier after lunch. We still got those backup ingredients. Darius leaned over the bar. That fancy car outside? That's Victor Harrington's? The tech billionaire? What's he doing in this neighborhood? I asked. Maybe he heard about Marcus's shrimp and grits. That stuff is supernatural. Jamal, our college student busboy, rushed over. Boss, something weird at table 7. I looked to see a white man in an expensive suit leaning too close to Tasha. Mrs. Wilson, our Tuesday regular, watched with narrowed eyes. As I approached, I heard him. Come on, sweetheart. I just want to know when you get off. A pretty thing like you shouldn't be waiting tables. Tasha stepped back. Sir, I need to check on your food. He grabbed her arm. Don't walk away when I'm talking to you. Everything okay here? I asked, stepping between them. Tasha looked relieved. This is my cousin Andre, the owner. Victor Harrington. I assume you've heard of me. I've heard enough to know you need to let go of my staff. Victor released her but smirked. Your waitress was being cold. I was just being friendly. Mrs. Wilson spoke up. Harassment isn't friendly. I saw everything. Victor's face darkened. You people have no idea who you're dealing with. You're a customer making my staff uncomfortable, which means you need to leave. My heart pounded, but I kept my voice steady. Victor stood up. You're making a serious mistake. The mistake was letting you through the door. Exits that way. Victor threw $100 bills on the table. You'll regret this. I can crush this dump with one phone call. Those threats won't put you back in that seat, I said, standing my ground. After he stormed out, Darius whistled. Man, you just kicked out a billionaire. Jamal looked worried. Can he really hurt the restaurant? I watched Victor's car speed away. I don't know, but nobody disrespects my family or staff. Tasha squeezed my arm. Thanks for having my back. Always, I promised, though the knot in my stomach told me this wasn't over. Mrs. Wilson nodded. Some things matter more than money, Andre. You did right. I hoped she was right, because Victor Harrington wasn't the type who forgot being told no. I was prepping for the lunch rush when a stern-looking woman in a gray suit walked in, flashing a badge. Health Department, unscheduled inspection. Marcus poked his head out from the kitchen. Health inspection? We just had one last month. New protocol, she said, already scribbling on her clipboard. For 2 hours, she nitpicked everything, measuring fridge temperatures, checking date labels, even using a flashlight to look behind equipment. When she finally left, we had a list of violations that would cost thousands to fix. Tasha slammed her hand on the counter. This is bull. We've never had problems before. It gets worse, Darius said, holding up his phone. Check our Yelp page. Overnight, dozens of one-star reviews had appeared. Food poisoning claims, roaches, rude service, none of it true. This is Victor, I said. Has to be. Jamal rushed in, looking panicked. Boss, the delivery truck just turned around. Said our account's been canceled. I called our supplier immediately. What do you mean canceled? We've been customers for 2 years. Sorry, Andre. Orders from above. Some big company bought controlling interest in our distribution network. After hanging up, I slumped into a chair. We can't serve without supplies. I know a guy who might help, Marcus said. Small distributor, but good quality. A knock at the door revealed a petite Asian woman holding a press badge. Diana Chen, Metro News. Can I speak with the owner? Tasha crossed her arms. We're closed for... Let her in, I said, recognizing an opportunity. Diana sat at the bar, recorder in hand. I'm investigating Victor Harrington. Sources say he was kicked out of your restaurant yesterday. How'd you know about that? You're not the first. I've tracked 7 restaurants where Victor harassed staff, then retaliated when rejected. Most went out of business within months. My stomach dropped. He's powerful enough to do that, and petty enough. But this time he's left a trail. The health inspector who came here, she's not from the health department. I've been tracking her. She shows up before businesses mysteriously fail. Darius whistled. That's some movie villain stuff right there. Diana leaned forward. I need victims willing to go on record. With enough voices, we can expose him. Count us in, Tasha said, but we need to move fast. At this rate, we won't last the month. Later that afternoon, Mrs. Wilson arrived with disturbing news. I overheard something at my bridge club. Victor's company is buying this entire block. Word is he's planning luxury condos. I called our landlord immediately. He confirmed it. Our building was being sold, and our lease wouldn't be renewed. Tasha and I spent the next day visiting other restaurants where Victor had caused trouble. At Mama Rosa's Italian, we met Elena, a server who'd been harassed, then fired after complaining. He touched me, made comments about my body, then complained to management when I refused his number. The pattern was identical at 4 other places. Back at Soul Plate, a courier delivered an envelope. Inside was a cease and desist letter from Victor's lawyers, threatening defamation charges if we continued spreading falsehoods. He knows we're gathering evidence, Tasha said. Diana arrived with her own stack of papers. Look what I found. Health code violations filed against every restaurant that crossed Victor, all from the same inspector. Can we use this? It's circumstantial, but combined with testimonies. Diana smiled. It's a start. Jamal burst through the door. Someone's here to see you, Andre. Says he's Victor's father. An older man stood at our entrance, perfectly tailored suit and silver hair that screamed old money. The resemblance to Victor was unmistakable, but his expression was different, grave instead of smug. William Harrington, he extended his hand. May we speak privately? I crossed my arms. Whatever you have to say, you can say in front of my people. William nodded, taking a seat at the bar. Fair enough. First, I want to apologize for my son's behavior. Tasha scoffed. An apology won't pay for the violations your son manufactured. I'm aware. Victor's actions are inexcusable. William pulled out a leather portfolio. This isn't the first time. It's simply the first time I've decided to step in. He spread out documents, news clippings, legal settlements, photos of closed businesses. 12 restaurants in the past 3 years. All places where waitstaff refused his advances. All driven to closure through methods similar to what you're experiencing. Diana leaned forward. Why come forward now? William's jaw tightened. Because I've enabled him for too long. Last month, a young woman, a hostess at La Maison, attempted suicide after Victor's harassment cost her job and reputation. The room fell silent. She survived, William continued, but I realized I can no longer stand by. My son needs consequences. So what's your angle? I asked. If you wanted to stop him, you could cut him off. I tried. He has his own wealth now, his own company. What he lacks is accountability. William looked me in the eye. That's where you come in. Me? You stood up to him, few do. I'm proposing a partnership. Darius laughed. Partnership? Your son's trying to destroy us. Which gives us leverage, William replied. I want to offer you something Victor would hate more than anything, success. He laid out blueprints of our block. I'm countering Victor's offer on this property. If you agree to help me expose him, I'll purchase the building and offer you a 99-year lease at your current rate. And what do you get? Tasha asked. Justice and perhaps some peace. William looked tired suddenly. My legacy is at stake. I built our company on integrity. Victor threatens everything I've worked for. Diana spoke up. We're already gathering evidence. How would this partnership work? The annual Harrington Foundation Gala is next week. Every major business figure and journalist in the city will attend. Victor always... William hesitated. He always finds a target at these events. You want to catch him in the act, I realized. Precisely. Diana would be there with her camera crew, ostensibly covering the charity. We'd have witnesses, documentation, everything needed for both legal action and public exposure. Marcus whistled. That's cold, man. Setting up your own son. Colder than what he did to those women? William countered. I stared at the documents, thinking of Elena and the others we'd met. How do I know this isn't some elaborate trap? William pulled out a check. $100,000, capital investment in Soul Plate, non-refundable regardless of the outcome. Tasha gasped. My lawyer will draw up papers tomorrow, William continued. Miss Chen can verify my reputation if needed. Diana nodded slowly. His philanthropy record is solid, and this would be a career-making story. One condition, I said. The other victims, they get compensation too. William didn't hesitate. Already arranged, a fund for all affected employees. I looked at my team, then back at William. We're in. Let's take him down. The Harrington Foundation Gala was straight out of a movie. Crystal chandeliers, champagne towers, and enough diamonds to blind you. Tasha and I felt out of place in our borrowed formal wear, but we had a job to do. Earpiece working? Diana whispered, adjusting her press badge. Loud and clear, I confirmed. William's by the stage. Victor just arrived through the east entrance. Diana nodded toward a young woman in catering uniform. That's Zoe. She volunteered to help after hearing about Elena's experience. Zoe wore a tiny camera disguised as a brooch, Diana's idea. Two more cameras were hidden in flower arrangements near the bar. William's team had installed them earlier. Target approaching the bar, Tasha muttered into her hidden mic. Showtime. Victor looked exactly like the type of guy who'd never heard the word no in his life. He sidled up to Zoe as she arranged appetizers, placing his hand on her lower back. Haven't seen you before. You new? Zoe tensed but stuck to the plan. First day, sir. Lucky me. Victor leaned closer. When's your break? I'd love to show you the art collection upstairs. Very private. I'm working, sir. Victor's hand slid lower. I could speak to your manager. Make sure you get special treatment. Please don't touch me, Zoe said clearly, our agreed-upon signal. I moved in, Diana's camera crew quietly repositioning. Still can't take no for an answer, huh, Victor? He spun around, face contorting when he recognized me. What the hell are you doing here? Security? They won't come. William appeared, flanked by two stern-looking men in suits. I invited him. Victor paled. Dad? What's going on? Accountability, son. Diana stepped forward, cameraman behind her. Victor Harrington, I'm Diana Chen with Metro News. Care to comment on allegations that you've systematically harassed women and destroyed businesses when rejected? This is absurd. Dad, tell them. It's over, Victor. William signaled, and screens around the ballroom flickered to life, showing Victor's interaction with Zoe moments ago, alongside footage of him harassing Tasha at Soul Plate. The crowd gasped. Elena and 5 other women we'd interviewed stepped forward from different corners of the room. You've left me no choice, William continued, voice carrying through the suddenly silent ballroom. As of this moment, you're removed from all positions within Harrington Enterprises. Your trust fund is suspended pending legal resolution of these cases. Victor lunged at me. You set me up. This is your fault. Security caught him before he reached me. The cameras caught everything. Take your hands off me, Victor shouted. Don't you know who I am? A soon-to-be defendant, said a woman stepping forward with a badge. Detective Sarah Reeves, we have questions about certain falsified health reports and business interference claims. 3 months later, Soul Plate had a line down the block. The wooden sign was replaced with neon, and we'd expanded into the adjacent storefront. To justice, William raised a glass at our grand reopening, and to good business. Diana's expose had gone national. Victor faced multiple lawsuits and criminal charges for fraud, harassment, and business interference. Last I heard, he was doing community service at a women's shelter, poetic justice ordered by a female judge. Tasha joined us, now managing our second location across town. Never thought I'd be grateful to that creep for coming into our restaurant. Sometimes the worst people lead you to the best opportunities, Mrs. Wilson said, enjoying her usual chicken and waffles. On the house, always. Marcus emerged from the kitchen, wiping his hands. Specials selling out again. We need to hire another cook. I looked around at my thriving business, my found family, and felt something I hadn't in years. Security. Good thing we own the building now, I smiled. We've got all the time in the world. What do you think? Was William right to set up his own son at the charity gala, or should he have handled Victor's behavior differently as a father? Would you have trusted William's offer if you were in Andre's position? If this story of justice against toxic people satisfied your revenge cravings, hit that like button to help more people find it. And if you want more stories like this one, subscribe to the channel for new uploads every week. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them all.